Hello. I hope this is working. Again, I forgot to actually check mic settings because I do everything very last minute. Hi, hello, welcome. Today is September 14, 2024 is the last day of the Splatoon 3 Grand Festival. So we're going to be jumping in and seeing how the final day goes. Again, I say this every time, but this might be a low-key stream. I'm definitely feeling sleepy, but hello. Hello, Mario. Hello, Alan. Hello, Silver. I hope everyone's doing well. This is probably going to be a shorter stream, probably an hour. I do have a plan. I don't know if I'll actually do it or not, but I kind of want to record a video, but I'll do it on stream. Where I just kind of talk about Splatoon a bit, because this is a series that's, like, very important to me, and I kind of had an epiphany last night about why the series actually means so much to me. So I kind of wanted to take some time to try to put into words why I like the series so much. I do have a YouTube channel. I don't know if I have a command set up for it or anything. But I plan to post like edited content, and eventually I have a VOD channel lined up. I just need to verify it because I can't upload long videos because I messed up. But again, I already talked about this before. Next plans are just kind of all over the place. I don't know what I'm doing on Monday. Next week might also be dodgy because I have to do a blood test next week. So Wednesday might not happen, as a heads up. But I'm also not sure about Friday, just because, frankly, a lot of people I know like streaming on Friday and Saturday, and I definitely feel like that is having an impact on, like, I don't want to compete with my friends, basically, if I can avoid scheduling, so I don't know what to do. Also because I kind of just like watching my friends play video games, so sometimes I feel like kind of torn about where to fit my schedule in relative to everybody else's, so it's kind of a balancing act. This is not a shuffled playlist, I should probably shuffle it. I wanted a couple of songs to play in order because the Octo expansion final boss themes just really smoothly flow into one another, so I kind of wanted to keep that unshuffled, but wasn't able to catch it before the credits song, which is very long, started playing. Like before, we're gonna give it a couple minutes, mostly because I feel like the servers kind of get hammered a bit once everyone starts logging on all at once, when like a rotation happens, so I definitely want to give it a sec to kind of smooth out a little bit, but hopefully it won't be too bad today. Connections were kind of spotty on my end, and I think it's because it's a blowout. This happens sometimes. I mean, I'll talk about this more when we get into the game, but I fully believe it's a blowout this time. I think Team Present is going to win, at least out of the popularity, which sometimes means they won't win the actual, like, battles because they keep getting mirror matches, but still, I'm very skeptical about my team winning. I am like the only person I know on Team Past, which is definitely an interesting feeling. I have a feeling I'm gonna go 0 for 3 on this. Hello, Shelly, thank you for the follow. How are you? I just followed you on Twitter. I typically don't follow people back that I don't know, but I do appreciate the support. But basically, I don't think I've got this one. I think I'm actually gonna be on the losing team of the Final Fest 3 times in a row, because that's just my luck with picking teams. Again, I wish I had gone Team Present in hindsight, partially because I know a lot of people went Team Present, but also because I kind of resonated with the theme more. I thought about it, I didn't put enough thought into it, but I already locked in, so oops, that's on me. Yeah, I think with that, we are going to try to jump into the game. I should also mute the music while I'm here. So yeah, we're gonna hop in. Again, this might be a low-key stream, but we're gonna see what this is like. Once again, I'm also going to hide the model because I don't want to cover up the text. Again, I probably won't read out all of it just to spare my voice for one thing, but also because I kind of don't know what kind of voices to do. My voice range is kind of small at the moment. I'm still like voice training and everything. Oh, it's nighttime now. Yeah, I'm not entirely confident with my voice. Again, I haven't really been out very long, so it's kind of difficult to try to figure out what I'm doing here. I might also refresh the capture card after we're done with this intro, just because it definitely feels a little bit delayed, which sometimes happens with capture cards. They can get a little bit out of sync. Though actually the video might be out of sync with the audio because of that. So I'm actually going to reset this because of that. I'm also probably going to check the friend request in a moment. So how do I hide this? I mean, I need to deactivate the source anyway, so we're just gonna do that. I'm gonna check what this is. Ah, I see. Alright, so with that taken care of, I guess we will hop back into the game. I'm gonna reactivate the source now that I don't need to cover up someone else's friend information, and we'll give this another go. In general, though, it is kind of sad to see this game winding down. This is a game I've been putting a ton of time into, so it is a kind of a bittersweet feeling. Though I will say they definitely went all out for the Splatfest. But again, I kind of want to do something at the end where I talk about my thoughts on everything, so I might save some of my opinions for then. In general, though, I really do enjoy the Splatfests. It's been fun having this as a sort of constant every couple months, having a new one to play through, try to level up to Ruler. I have gone to Ruler in every Splatfest in this game, which is a first for me. But again, I can talk about that a little bit more. Second phase is the Grand Festival, and that means we have something special going on, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, we have a new stage, which we already kind of saw last time, or last week, with the big run, if I'm not mistaken. So, let's see how this is going. Okay, this is not what I expected, and I don't know how to feel about it. Oh hey, that's new. That's cute that they actually have special intros by the characters. I'm gonna look forward to seeing all of the info later on, because obviously they write dialogue for every outcome. So I'm gonna be curious to look up like the data mines on the dialogue for the other outcomes, like if, you know, Team Future was winning at this point, or if Team Past wasn't winning at this point, basically. One night only stage for a very special battle. Enjoy it while it lasts. That we shall. Now this is just standard stuff, so we'll skip through this. Guess I can pop this back on screen now that we're through the dialogue that's like special for the Splatfest. And I'm actually not going to look too closely at the stage. I want to look at it at the end. For now, we're just going to jump straight into a battle, partly because last time I got talking for a really long time, so I think it's good to just gotta move on with this. So yeah, let's check out this special stage, the Grand Splatlands Bowl. They say it's like a one-night thing, but like last time, after they did an update that added all of the shifty stations to the private battle mode. I kind of wish there was a way to play them not with friends, because at that point I really didn't have anyone to play private battles with in Splatoon 2. So I never really got to experience that aspect of the game. Yeah, this game is very special. Again, there's definitely a lot that people kind of critique about it, and I think a lot of critiques are fair, but it's definitely still a game that has a lot of sentimental value to me, probably more so than the other Splatoon games, actually. Somewhat surprisingly, because of just how beloved, like, 1 and 2 are. I don't know if it's my favorite, though, but again, I'll probably try to work through some of these thoughts later on in the night. Again, probably only an hour-long stream, a little bit shorter, partially because I've done so many streams. This was essentially my debut week, quote-unquote, sort of a soft launch for the channel, as, I think it was Freeze put it, a couple streams ago. But basically, I don't feel like doing a full, grand debut until I have a little bit more of a presence and consistency for, like, scheduling and stuff, so, yeah, soft launch. Probably if I get to affiliate, and actually get approved for that, I'll try to do a full debut. I actually have everything set up, like a PowerPoint and everything. I also have a plan, but again, we're only at like 30 something, 36, 37, so that's a little bit early. I definitely think it's going to slow down at a certain point, to be honest. Also, I don't like defending, so this is going to be fun because Team Pass is going to be traditionally set up as the defending team, which means we are probably going to get a little bit bodied. So this will be fun. Okay, so it looks like 3 of us are starting on this side, which is really weird. Or all of us are starting on this side. That's really weird. So we have this rising platform. It looks like it's automatic, like it's not fan controlled, like in some other games. So yeah, this was used in the Salmon Run last week, so this isn't exactly a new thing. Also, as a defending team, that means unfortunately, there's a gimmick, I'm pretty sure, where the other idols will come and support you if you actually get the Ultra Signal, which means we actually can't really see that, unfortunately, because we probably won't be getting the Ultra Signal that much anyway, because I'm bad at the game, but also because we're not on the team that's favored for the attacker side. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but that's not too big of a deal. I'm almost to Ruler +1, which there's actually something special for that, assuming you hadn't gone to 100 times. But I actually did get a 100 times one last night, so we are set for that. I might take more photos at the special stage later on, but again, we're not taking a look at that until later, until we're done for the night, and then we'll probably just vibe for a bit once we hit Ruler +1, which who knows how fast that'll be, or until we see all the fun special things of the Splatfest. I think the audio is a little bit quiet, but I'm kind of afraid to raise it up too much because I feel like Splatoon is a game with a lot of audio variants, like parts of it are really quiet, other parts are really loud. So unfortunately, I do have the audio probably lower than I should. Suddenly I'm playing okay, and maybe it's because I'm not trying to play at 3 AM. Maybe that's the ticket, I say as I immediately die, because of course I jinx myself like that. I'm very prone to jinxing, so I probably should keep my mouth shut with things like that, and have learned my lesson by now, but I somehow haven't. You still haven't gotten the Ultra Signal, so that's a good start. This feels like a really weird map, though, in terms of, like, balance. I'll have to obviously test it out more, but it feels okay-ish. I hope, at least, it's relatively well-balanced for our final Grand Festival, or final Splatfest. Some of the stages are really one-sided, where it's like one side basically has it in, like, locked in, if they're defending or attacking. Meanwhile, the other team has to struggle a lot harder in order to get the same momentum. But I don't know if this one's going to be particularly well set up or well thought out, because a lot of them really aren't. But again, I almost think Splatoon 3 is a weird game, and Splatoon in general is weird, kind of like Smash, where it's both trying to appeal to a casual market, but also a competitive scene, and thus it sometimes runs into trouble. Just from trying to hit both audiences, essentially, and trying to juggle both audiences successfully, and not always particularly well, to be totally honest. Does that count, actually? I think the animation is still trying to play out, unfortunately, so that did take longer to fade out. This is a very interesting Grand Festival stage, or like Splatfest stage. Hello. Hi Kirby. Hope you're doing well. I hope everyone's doing well, actually. I don't know if I said that yet. We also got the fist bump, so I'm going to save that video. I mean, why am I saving it? I'm streaming the game, but I guess, you know, my model and chat and everything is there, so there's merit to saving it separately. I'm very tired. I probably did not get enough sleep because I was playing a lot of Splatoon. I definitely do not make responsible life choices when it comes to, like, my sleep schedule. I definitely need to fix that, especially if I want to start streaming more regularly. My ideal start time for streams would be like 3 or 4 p.m. Pacific, but like today I would not have been able to because I got up too late. So I'll definitely have to keep that in mind for the future. I also feel like my voice is kind of messed up from, again, doing like a week of streams after like not talking this much. Voice training or otherwise, not talking very much. For extended periods of time. from Eastern. So yeah, I still need to work out like timing for everything. At least we're not getting all mirror matches. That's a good start. But again, I would really love to be the attacking side just because I prefer that. I don't really like being the defender just because it's a lot more stressful for some reason. Again, I don't know what it is about it, but it just feels like there's more pressure on the defending team. So yeah, most Splatfests are different because they actually are set up in such a way that, or the tricolor battle stages are set up in such a way that the defending team starts on different halves, basically. And so this one's a little bit different in having the defending team start on the same side. But I know why they did it. It's because it's the final one. They wanted to have like all the teams start in the same spots. So that's kind of a cool symbolic thing. But again, from a balancing standpoint, it's a little bit tougher because a lot of the other maps are set up with like a pincer strategy in mind. So it's a little bit different in that regard. Wow, I walked right into that, or swam right into that, I suppose. Yeah, I hope we got to see the gimmick, which is that the idols can show up to help cheer on the teams if you actually get an Ultra Signal. But the only problem is I don't want them to get the Ultra Signal, so it's kind of awkward. I want to show off the cool thing, but I also don't want to see the cool thing because that means I'm losing. So it's an odd dichotomy there. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a good week, good weekend as well so far. My weekend has been very uneventful. This is a remix. Again, I have the audio set a little bit lower than I probably should. I might turn it up in a moment, especially once we get to the concert portion. I might turn up the audio, just because I want to hear the music and have it audible. Now, the way I have OBS set up, I actually am capturing game audio and my voice separately, so I can actually edit that out if I so desire. So yeah, they got the Ultra Signal, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll see what changes. Maybe it has to be like both. Like if you end up getting both Ultra Signals, like same team or something, or maybe it's like at the end. Again, I don't quite understand what the deal is with this particular thing, but I just know there's something special that's like supposed to happen. But again, not really sure on the details of that. Wow, I'm playing badly now. Again, susceptible to jinxing. As soon as I'm like, wow, I'm actually playing okay today, then I start playing really bad, because of course that's how it works. Again, it's like, I hate being the closest one to the Ultra Signal and having to protect it because I'm still very far away and also not a good shot, to be honest. Yeah, this ain't looking good so far, for us at least. Well, that worked, at least. We need to focus on green because they're in the lead. So yeah, they do show up if you actually do get both. It's irrespective of team, too, so that's interesting. This is bad all at the last moment, though it's kind of my thing, where I tend to lose Splatfests, like Turf War battles, like within the last 5 to 10 seconds. Just, it only takes like a slight shift to the tide, but we were able to hold off, so that was good. So we got to see the cool gimmick, at least. I guess it depends on, like, the last team to get the second one, if I am understanding correctly, because of, like, it was the blue team that got the last one. And then I guess if, like, green had gotten the second one, then maybe it would have been, deep cut. I can't remember all the names of everything while also trying to like, play the game and navigate menus. Again, this is why I started with Sonic Adventure 2, because that's a game I know very well and don't have to think while playing. Like, thinking can be very difficult while you're also trying to play a game as fast-paced as Splatoon sometimes. I never took a picture of that, by the way, so I figured I might as well. But yeah, Splatoon 3 has been a lot of fun. This Grand Festival definitely has been a blast, other than the Salt, because of course there's Salt, it's the final one. People are way more competitive than usual, for better or worse. And as someone who's like very casually into the PvP aspects, I am definitely getting a little bit overwhelmed by everything. I'm also using like an arrow spray that was around since like launch, so I don't even know if it's any good anymore. I don't know what the meta is. I just remember this was like really OP at the start. At least that's kind of how everyone talked about it. Everyone was like, wow, the Aerospray sucks, and then people are running like all Aerospray teams. So I think they used the other one more, the crab one, which I think is the normal Aerospray. I think I'm using the second one. But again, clearly I'm not the most qualified at talking about Splatoon. As much as I love these games, I'm not really like 100% caught up on the meta and everything, so it's not like, you know, I fully understand everything that's going on here. I'm just kind of winging it in terms of, like, trying to talk about it. Maybe someday I'll try to, like, get back into the competitive scene of Splatoon, but I don't really have any plans at the moment because I just don't have time. It takes a lot of commitment to actually get really good at any game, really. And, like, multiplayer games especially, I feel like, have a really high skill ceiling. Like, you know, MOBAs. Like, I cannot get into Deadlocked, to be honest. It's, like, really overwhelming. But I also don't play, like, League or anything. I've thought about playing, like, more MOBA-type games like Deadlock, but it's just a case of, like, I played one round and it took, like, half an hour. I won, but I just wasn't having a good time because I didn't quite even understand what I was doing. So I ended up just uninstalling, like, right away. Which is a shame, because I do think the game is a good game, it's just not for me, if that makes sense. But again, maybe if I actually, like, squad with people, it'll be better. But just playing totally by myself is like, this isn't very enjoyable. Wow, no one's around, that's great. That happens sometimes where just literally nobody is around, and that's all obviously when you want to go for the Ultra Signal, because then you're kind of uncontested for actually picking it up. Wow, this is not a good start. We still have half the round to fend off both teams now. Green is definitely making a push here. But again, it's kind of a balancing act, trying to make sure that both teams are being held at bay, because obviously if you focus too much on one, then the other might gain ground, and that's a problem. Genuinely, I didn't think I'd be in this situation at all. I genuinely thought I would be, or that Team Past would not be ranking particularly well, let alone number 1 at the moment at the halftime report. So yeah, I definitely was expecting to be on the attacking side primarily, also just because I felt like I didn't run into many Team Past or like Team Future to the point where I don't think they have popularity. So I don't know how this is gonna shake out. I think Present has popularity. I don't know about wins, so it's going to be very interesting to see. Are you using Discord for voice chat? I'm actually not using voice chat at all. I'm totally by myself for this. Because no one I know is on Team Past, actually. At least as far as I know. There's like a couple people who I didn't hear what team they're on, but for the most part, my friends went Team Present or Future, unfortunately. So I'm kind of on my own for this one. Which is fine. I usually play Splatfest by myself because, frankly, I play games at stupid hours. I will just play a game and try to get really good at it at like 2 AM Pacific, because that's kind of when you have time and energy for some reason. It's like when I get a second wind, it's like really absurdly late at night, because of course it is. And then I can't go to bed because now I'm wired up because I've stayed up too late playing Guilty Gear until like 3 AM. Alright, that should put us over 800, or unless we already were. Yeah, we already were, so we're actually really close. On my own time, I'll probably play a lot more, but again, I don't know how much I'll play on screen. We'll probably play until, like, the stream hits an hour, which does account for, like, the opening part, so gameplay should only be, like, 45 to 50 minutes for the Splatfest part, but then we'll take some time at the end to peruse the Grand Festival grounds, and sort of say our farewell to Splatoon 3 in a way. Again, the game is not going anywhere, hopefully. And anytime soon, but again, this is the last big new thing. If we get anything else, it'll just be like, you know, more holiday stuff, which will still be fun, but it won't be like a big brand new Splatfest. We are finally on the attacking side. Again, you can't get attacker while you are on the winning team for halftime. They made that change because matchmaking kind of bombed after a while because of that. So it's just the odds of getting defender are higher if your team is winning at halftime, but you can still get halftime or get the attacker role. Also, is it kind of glittery now? I think it is. I don't know if it was like that the whole fest, or if that's like a new thing for the final day. But again, also things are like the music's different. Like, we have special songs for this one. We've had special songs for the entire thing, but also we have specifically songs for this one, it feels like. And of course, just as soon as I'm like, oh yeah, I like being the attacker side on the attacker side more, I'm probably gonna completely botch this match because that's how my luck works. Plus, again, this map almost seems really well suited for the defending role because of like the centralized location of it. It almost feels like it's harder for the other teams to get momentum. But again, we'll see as we go along how this pans out. But again, we basically have to get a team wipe of sorts and then hope that green cooperates enough for us to actually grab the Ultra Signal, or vice versa, let them get it, which will still help us out for taking out, in this case, Team Present. I assume all this will be on the soundtrack coming out soon. They're doing a special soundtrack soon that'll have like side order songs, but I'm assuming they're gonna lump all of the off the hook stuff that's new and the Splatfest stuff as well, which they usually do. I think that's what they did for Splatoon 2, where for the Octo expansion soundtrack, they ended up including all the stuff they had added to the game later on, since the first soundtrack's release, while that focused more on the base game's songs. So yeah, I just had to say it, didn't I? Because again, as soon as I'm like, yeah, I like this better, we are struggling hardcore at this, that was a mistake. Somehow I lived, so I'll take it. I do not know how I lived there, to be honest. Both of those ink strikes were just very well positioned. I'm very grateful to whoever that was on green for having a very good aim there. I would like to see the Squid Sisters at some point tonight, but I'm starting to think that will not happen. Dang, that was close, but barely not enough momentum there. I don't know if we'll even win this one. This is really close, actually. We need like a really strong push to actually get this locked down, but I don't think we're gonna get that in the next 30 seconds unless something really severe happens to Blue. Like they lose a lot of team members all at once, like a team wipe, but beyond that, I don't really see a lot of hope for this particular round. Again, 10 seconds left. That's not enough time to get anything off the ground, unfortunately. Did that go through the shield? I don't remember if I've ever seen that interaction before, where it's like, it can actually do that. I'm actually just realizing, is it playing special versions of the victory song for the team that wins? I definitely need to turn the audio up for this game. Again, I definitely underestimated how quiet this can be. So let's set it to about, maybe try about here, like that, and see if that sounds any better. Because again, just based on my readout, it definitely looks like the game is really quiet right now. So yeah, attacking is really hard in that stage, I think. It definitely feels like it'd be easier for the defending team, which, again, in this case is actually a good thing that I'm on Team Past. But again, usually I do prefer the attacker role, mostly just because the responsibility is set between me and the other team, so if my team does really badly, there's still a chance that the third team might do well and carry it, or there's less responsibility on my team rather than like the full 4-person team. If that makes any sense. I don't know if I explained that well whatsoever. And back to defending. I see someone's named Bridget and immediately I'm like Brisket, but wrong game. But again, it would be a shame if a lot of these assets just kind of never get used for anything. So I really hope they'll add some way to actually visit the, you know, festival grounds and the stages and everything that they set up sometime in the future. Again, they did it for Splatoon 2, so I hope they'll do the same for Splatoon 3. Already off to a very bad start. It looks like my team is nowhere near the Ultra Signal. They're pretty well pushed back, so that's already off to a very bad start. Again, we already lost the Ultra Signal and we're literally 30 seconds in, so this is already kind of a wash. Personally, I'm someone who will keep playing though. Like, some people give up, and that kind of pisses me off, to be honest. A lot of people just like will sit on their hands within reason to avoid disconnects, but a lot of people will just kind of give up after a while. And like, I kind of almost wonder if that's what happened, because it feels like my team just kind of disappeared. And that happens sometimes a lot when there's just a steamroll. People just kind of give up and just hang out near the starting areas and just squid party, as it's called. I feel like I should be called like a cephaloparty or something, because cephalopod, because now that we have octolings as playable characters, it's not really a squid party anymore. Yeah, this is just kind of a gong show of a round because the Ultra Signal's getting claimed that early. Who is performing right now? It is Deep Cut, so my theory does seem to be correct that whoever gets the second Ultra Signal is the one that gets the, like, their team performing, basically. I will say, this is actually closer than I expected it to be, given the initial, like, look of everything. Given that we had a really bad Ultra Signal situation at the very beginning of the round, it's like we're only 5% down, which is like reasonable to actually come back from. It's not gonna be pretty, obviously, but it's definitely like within reason that we could still win this. I've seen rounds where it's like the Ultra Signals get claimed right away, and then it ends up being like a combined total of like 60 to 70% from the other teams and like 10% from the defending team. So again, all things considered, we are putting up quite the fight still, which makes me happy, because again, there are cases where it just feels like everyone gives up and starts partying, and doesn't try to actually keep fighting, even though, for all intents and purposes, Splatoon is a game that's the ebbs and flows, like the tide. And so if you're behind, you still have a very good chance of coming back at some point. So green definitely pulled ahead at the last minute. I don't think we have enough time to make a move to actually lock, or to like come back. I think they had it on lock, unfortunately. But yeah, I think we actually did pretty good, all things considered. We did a very good job of trying to hold them back. Never mind, we won anyway. I did not expect that, to be honest. Genuinely did not expect that. I wonder if green and blue started fighting, because that happens sometimes, which is really frustrating when you're on the attacker side, and it's really close like that, and then the two teams like turn on each other, and that just lets the defending team win. But that happens a lot in this game. A lot of aspects of the PvP can be very frustrating, which in general is why I don't like PvP in games, and why I tend to just kind of stick to myself with games like this. Because I cannot be bothered to try to like coordinate with randoms online, and then also introvert, so I don't really like reaching out and being like, hey, you want to play a game together? In a lot of cases. Again, part of the reason I wanted to start streaming is to try to get better at that and actually like coordinate with people to be like, hey, you want to do a multiplayer thing? But again, not quite at that point yet. I kind of just want to fly solo for now on streams, and then maybe work up to the point where I end up having like more people around. But I also feel like it's not as big of a deal right now because I'm a small streamer at this point. So like, I almost feel like I don't know if this makes sense, but with voice calls, I almost feel like it almost is more helpful, like, with bigger streams, because then you have more people to, like, follow chat and everything while I'm playing. But, like, for me, I can very easily follow chat as is. I'm also very ADHD, so even while I'm playing a game, I'm constantly darting back over to the chat to see if anyone has said anything, which is definitely not helping my gameplay at all. I'm definitely playing worse because I'm constantly looking over to the side. So yeah, sometimes I make very poor choices in moments like this where, yeah, I should be focusing. I'm not focusing, like 100%, which is definitely a problem when a lot is on the line, potentially, with the future, quote-unquote, of Splatoon, kind of resting on the Splatfest in a way, because traditionally, the Final Fests do influence the plot of the next game, so whichever team wins will probably have some impact on some aspects of Splatoon 4, but again, I think it'll be a bit, to be honest. My current gut check is, like, 2028, I think. 2029, maybe. I think I'll be a bit, in other words. Also, I really don't like dynamo rollers. That's a constant throughout the entire series. That's my, like, very, like, common Splatoon take, is I feel like dynamo is a weapon where I hate using it because it's so slow and not my playstyle, and I also hate fighting dynamo players because they know what they're doing and they can one-shot you very easily. Same with E-Leader, same thing. I don't like using it because I'm bad at it, and then I also resent when other people can just one-shot me with it. But again, that just shows the level of commitment and skill there that I personally lack. It is 100% a skill issue. But I do personally feel like there are weapons that are just, like, really hard to use in this game. And again, it's like, I respect it, but I'm also, like, frustrated by how good people are with certain weapon combos and, like, item combos. That person took a lot of hits from that. I wonder if they had, like, armor from the soda or something. Because that felt like an unreasonable amount of damage to take and live. Off-screen, off-stream, I'll probably try to, like, max out this drink ticket, to be honest. You know, probably not a lot of other opportunities to level up beyond this. Again, I've never actually hit max rank in any Splatoon because I don't play enough non-salmon run modes to actually hit max rank. In general, though, I really do hope that Splatoon 4 does happen, but that they kind of give it a break for a bit. I hope the series is allowed to rest for a while, just because I genuinely think, after 3 especially, a lot of people hit a burnout point. And I think they need to kind of go back to the drawing board a bit and, like, really shake up the series somehow. I don't know what they do, but I would prefer if we get, like, a new Animal Crossing next, and then Splatoon kind of takes a break until, like, a couple years into, like, potential new hardware. Again, the Switch 2 has been rumored for seemingly forever. I'm so sick of hearing about it, to be honest, because as someone who's followed a lot of, like, rumors about games, I have basically seen Switch 2 rumors since, like, 2021 or something. It was, like, around the time of the OLED. The theory is the OLED was meant to be the Switch 2, but then part shortages because of COVID and other, like, supply issues meant they basically just made a more powerful Switch 1 instead, like, using the old chassis they designed. That's just a theory, though. And then, now we're so far removed from then, they've just kind of gone back to the drawing board with everything about the Switch 2. But I just want it to be out. I want it to be, like, real, just so I can stop hearing insiders claim that their uncle from Nintendo told them that the Switch 2 is being announced in a week. As someone who follows insider rumors, though, I will say it's partly on me, because I could just not read rumors, but it's also just a case of I don't mind spoilers for things. It's cool when you get a cool surprise, but in general, I really don't care that much about, like, oh, someone said a direct is in a week, and lo and behold, there's a direct at the date they said it would be. Like, I don't really care that strongly about things like that. But my big thing is I just feel like a lot of people can just make up anything on the internet, and that's kind of the thing that bugs me, is like there's a distinct lack of critical thinking with insider rumors a lot, where people will just say the most random stuff, and then like people will genuinely fall for it, and it's like, how? Like literally, how in what scenario could that actually be like what they do? And so things like that can get a little bit frustrating to me. Rumors themselves, I don't have too many objections to as someone who actively goes out of my way to read them. Also, I like how someone on the other team is named Fox, so it's like very fitting somehow as a rival of sorts. So it looks like it's pressure-based. Like, if people are standing on it, it rises up. So basically, the team that's in the lead can basically have the high ground the entire time. Which, again, I don't know if I like that in a way, because it just means it kind of stalemates after a while, where it's like you can't really make any progress, because if like one person's really, or like one team's really holding down the center point, it's almost like a King of the Hill map in a way, which is a little bit different than some of the others. But again, I think like Splat Zones is kind of like that, where it's like it's very hard to regain control if you lose it, so just don't lose it, which is obviously easier said than done. That's a gross oversimplification of how to play Splatoon, but that is kind of how I feel, where it's like, again, momentum-based more so than others, though to be fair, I've played a very small amount of third-person shooters in my life. The only other one I played super seriously was like Star Wars Battlefront, for example. Even that, I feel like I put a lot of time into, but there's not like a ranked option in the same way that Splatoon has, so I never really got as into the meta and everything. But again, I do miss that game, weirdly enough. I know it got a lot of heat at the time because of like microtransactions and things of that nature, but once they took all that stuff out, I actually thought it was a really fun game. But now I'm at a point where I just don't like Star Wars anymore because of all the drama in the fan base. So I just kind of am burnt out of Star Wars, period. Splatoon music is so fascinating because it feels very dissonant in a way. Like, it shouldn't work, but it does, is how I feel about Splatoon music. Like, a lot of the songs, especially in 2 and 3, I'd say are really, like, chaotic, which, again, this is Order vs. Chaos, so it makes sense that Splatoon 3 has some of the most chaotic music in the series in terms of, like, arrangements. But I do like the musical variety of these games. I think it creates a very unique feel, and I think that's why I love Splatoon so much, is the personality of the game is really good. Again, it goes beyond just, I think it's fun to play, but a lot of times with like Nintendo games especially, and indie games, just a charm that goes beyond the gameplay, and that helps to carry the game for me a little bit more than just, oh, this is a standard third-person shooter. It's like why some games thrive and others don't, because some just do not have the appeal of others, so like they'll try to copy it but then be unsuccessful. I think of the obvious one is Smash Bros, where it just has like a special amount of love and care put into it that makes it like the only game of its type that actually has taken off, because again, there's been no shortage of attempts at making like Smash Bros. Like games. You know, Multiverses is a big one. You know, Nickelodeon also All-Star Brawl. That's really hard to say, actually. But again, it's a genuine feeling I have of, I think it's a problem of games not quite understanding how to have the same, like, charm. Now, in the case of Multiverses and Nickelodeon, I fully admit it's because I don't have nostalgia for either, like, property, in the same way as Nintendo, so I admit it's partially a me problem, but even, like, PlayStation All-Stars, kind of came and went. which was a shame because I do feel like there is more opportunity. There's a lot of opportunities in the platform fighter space, but very few have actually successfully captured what makes Smash Bros. Stand out, if that makes sense. But again, that's a whole other topic. I would like to get back into a Smash Bros. At this point, though. I'm almost just waiting to see what they do after Ultimate, in the vain, or the potentially vain hopes that they actually put rollback in, and that makes the online actually tolerable. My, like, dream scenario for Smash Bros. Is because they've been doing so much work with, like, aiding and Arc System works lately on stuff like, weirdly enough, Pikmin is co-developed by aiding now. So yeah, the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 people are now working on Pikmin, of all things. But now that we have that, and also like Arc System Works helped on another code, because Trace Memory was originally done by a company called Sing, and then people left that company, or I think that company went under or something, and then a lot of people ended up at ArcSys or something like that. Either way, ArcSys did work on another code's remakes. So it makes me hope that maybe a company like that could help with Smash Bros. Online, and thus it could actually be tolerable. Like, it's possible to do rollback on the current Switch, but like, it's difficult because of like the four-player nature of Smash Bros. To actually have rollback be stable enough on the Switch, because it's so intense on the CPU, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm hoping the Switch 2 is powerful enough to actually do rollback, like the Guilty Gear Switch Edition on like Switch 2 will actually have crossplay, though. As a Guilty Gear fan, I don't know if I look forward to that, based on how much the servers died as soon as, one, they had crossplay in the first place, and two, they had the Xbox crossplay, and that also broke the servers again. So, like, Strive's servers have always had problems, unfortunately. The netcode is really good, but everything around the netcode is kind of not good. Like, the lobbies are bad, like, the game can take forever to just start up because of connecting to the servers. So yeah, once you're in a match, the game runs great, but just getting into a match can be annoying with Strive. So for that reason, I'm almost relieved at the moment that the Switch version does not have crossplay, because it's like, I don't know if Strive can take many more, like, shifts that can destabilize the netcode anymore, to be honest. Again, this is coming from someone who really loves Guilty Gear Strive. Again, as critical as I am of the game, or as much as I love the game, it's definitely still a game I will be very critical of, because there's things they can do better. They are currently running a survey, so like, if you hadn't heard about that and play live Guilty Gear, I would recommend that, because there's a lot of interesting options in there. I'd be curious to see if they actually apply some of them. For character roster, I don't really care anymore. I got my main back, or one of them at least, not both. But at this point, I got one of my mains back, so I'm just kind of going full wildcard mode of just like, I want like characters that are really obscure to come back. Like characters that have only been like one spin-off. Well, two spin-offs in one case, but like, you know, that's off topic. Again, I'm playing enough Guilty Gear that I can save my thoughts for then, probably. Again, really not sure about like everything I'm gonna do on stream. Again, I don't want to get too stale, like, oh, if I just keep playing Sonic and Guilty Gear, I don't know if that'll get annoying, or if that'll, like, stifle channel growth, because then I'm just doing the same thing, so my, like, outreach is staying very small. So I might try to mix it up a lot, trying to play a bunch of games, bunch of different genres, and just kind of dabble in a bunch of different games. Which, again, segues into, I haven't even decided what I'm doing on Monday, if anything. My current plan is maybe like a shuffler or something. Just like toss a bunch of games in a shuffler and play that for a couple of hours, just because I'm indecisive. And what better way to solve indecisiveness than just play all the games? But yeah, in general, I do really like multiplayer games. It's just a case of, I kind of prefer, like, versus CPUs. I don't really necessarily like playing against other people. Again, Turf War is a mode I don't really play very much at all unless there's a Splatfest, just because I really don't like having to fight other people if I don't have to, because I'm outmatched by them. These people have been playing the game a lot more than I have. I have people who have been playing like every day for 2 years now, and they have like, they're at like level 99 plus, whatever the like extension is. There's like a star system in 1, I forget what it is in 2 and 3, but you can't go past like level 99, I think. And then, you know, S plus and everything, or like X rank in 2. And here I am, just like someone who just very casually plays Turf War once in a blue moon and mostly plays Salmon Run, and then just get bodied for about like the first couple hours, and then kind of find a groove. This Splatfest obviously being the final one, a lot more people are playing than usual, so I definitely felt the rough start a lot more than usual. It took a lot more time to kind of like ease into the game because of just how cutthroat the final fests always are. I don't need to go into a fight or flight reaction when the other team is trying to get the Ultra Signal, because I'm actually the attacking role for once. Okay, so we have a problem because green is causing infighting, which is not good because we are trying to stop... wait a minute, that was green, so that was what they were supposed to do. Never mind, I thought I'm so used to present defending, actually, because, like, online last night, what was I trying to say? Last night when I was playing, like, Team Present was almost always the middle team, so I'm just used to having to fight them, but we're actually fighting green this time, working with Present. So we have Off the Hook, I'm okay with that. I was hoping we'd see the Squid Sisters at some point tonight, but, I'm not the best at this game, so I'm not overly shocked. But also, I don't know which group I like better. I think I actually like Off the Hook more in a way. I just have more nostalgia, ironically, for the Squid Sisters, which I think is why it works really well having them be team past. Is like, yeah, the nostalgia team, and then you have like Off the Hook, which are like very current, or like, you know, the present, while Deep Cut kind of represent, you know, the future direction of the series potentially. At this point, I actually wonder if they'll keep a similar like synergy up, where, you know, the Squid Sisters are kind of the focal point of the main story, and Off the Hook kind of show up a lot more in the DLC, because it's like, what can you really do with these characters? At this point, they're kind of, I don't want to say they're played out, but they definitely have done quite a bit with the Squid Sisters. They've been the focus of the story mode 3 times now, so I almost kind of hope they do have like Deep Cut or someone else as like the centerpiece of the single player story. But again, time will tell, and we have plenty of time to wait until the next game. Rising dev times and dev costs and everything, it's gonna be a bit until we get another Splatoon, I think. And again, because New Horizons sold so well, I have a feeling they're gonna want to get an Animal Crossing out on Switch to ASAP. So, I think it'll be a bit. And again, I think Splatoon does need the break though, so I'm not like complaining about that. It definitely feels like a good, healthy decision for the game to basically let Splatoon 3 be the only Splatoon for a little bit, and then come back a few years in to the next console. Blue definitely won that one. I do like having the different, like, idols singing the respective win themes of the characters, so I think that's just like Splatoon 2's Splatfest win theme. Red Guy, thank you for the follow. I don't know how much longer we'll be playing the actual game. Again, I do kind of want to just spend some time talking about Splatoon, so after this match we'll get to 10 uses of this drink ticket left, or food ticket left. So I think I might actually step out of the lobby at that point, and then spend some time just going through the festival grounds and reminiscing and winding down for the evening. And then we might, like, I don't know, after that. But again, I did intend for this to be a relatively short stream. Again, I did like a 3-hour stream on Thursday, so I'm definitely feeling that. Yep. I definitely think Splatoon is a series that has some very good writing, and that... I think that's a quote. I forget the context of it, though. Whenever I just see Heavenly Melody, I just assume that's the Calamari incantation, though. Again, maybe it came up in the Splatfest and I already forgot, because my brain is, like, very, very tired from streaming multiple times a week already. So yeah, this will be our last, like, on-stream round of this. So yeah, I do wish we could have seen Callie and Marie on the, you know, main stage, at least on stream. I'll probably see it off-stream. I'll probably win the first game I play off-stream as attacker, just because that's how my luck works with things like this. Once again, it looks like Future is the defending team, so we actually have to, like, remember to leave Present alone, which again is, like, kind of not a habit at this point with how much I've specifically run into Team Present throughout this Splatfest. I've almost not seen Past at all outside of Tricolor. So yeah, at this point, I'm really not sure who's gonna end up taking this one. It could be anyone's game at this point, because it's just kind of been all over the place from what I've seen, at least. That'd be a great time to get the Ultra Signal, so I hope they get it. Cool. So I'm gonna try to get the second one, and, like, make a point to get the second one, just, again, to show off the cool thing. Let's see if we can actually get it. Got it, cool. So, again, once again, I tend to be very susceptible to jinxing in a way, so we actually did get this as soon as I say, we're probably not gonna get this on stream. And then, as soon as I say that, I immediately get it. So, yep, that's how my luck works. So now we have Callie and Marie on the big stage. Again, this is just really cool. Again, they put a lot of love into this, and even though there's definitely things to critique about Splatoon 2, or Splatoon 3, and the series as a whole, it is definitely just a case of, you know, I do appreciate all the effort they put into, like, the atmosphere of the game. Again, even if, you know, specific key parts of it definitely could have used more work in some ways or others. So yeah, this is very much looking like another win, because we definitely have a respectable lead at this point. Also, I do not know enough Japanese to read that. I apologize. I don't even know, like, Korean, despite being born there. I just didn't grow up there, so I never learned. This is way closer than it should be, given that we got the Ultra Signals as early as we did. Present still definitely is carrying, because I'm not playing the best at the moment. Partly because I'm trying to, like, soak up the atmosphere a little bit, like with the Squid Sisters performing. I suppose I should save, like, the replay, and, like, go back, or, like, maybe just zoom the camera out and try to pay attention, to the stage. I should do that, if that's an option. I don't remember how replays even work in this game. I never use that feature, to be honest, so, and we're actually doing really badly, but again, Present's doing well enough that they're kind of carrying, thankfully, so, that's good at least. I don't know, we're actually kind of staying even-paced with Present, at least, so that's not too bad. And again, there's a temptation to try to, like, steal it at the last minute from Team Present, but that also risks Team Future catching up on that round, so best to play it safe. Not that I really had an option, because of how badly I was playing. Yeah, I think we actually did get second, so that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I'm very glad I got the streamer title before I started streaming, so I could just use it all the time. Again, I didn't know that was a thing, so it just worked out that I ended up getting it when I did. It was like a couple, like maybe a month before I started streaming, and I decided, you know what, I need to use that title for the future. Yeah, I have no clue how to save replays or anything of that nature, so we'll figure that out at some point. Team Pass just won a 100 times battle, cool. Very, very cool. Alright, so I think we're gonna wind down for a bit. I'm gonna head back to the lobby, and then we'll see what we do from there. Now that we're actually not playing the game, I'm also going to go over here and turn off motion controls just because of motion sickness while I'm like looking around, so the camera's just analog, it's not tied to motion or anything. But yeah, I wanted to do something for like both the stream and also for potentially making a YouTube video out of, where I just kind of share my thoughts on Splatoon as a series as a whole. So I don't know if I should like intro it or anything, or what, or just start talking. But anyway, I'm trying to make a decision how I want to actually structure it for the sake of the YouTube video. Like, should I intro it or should I just start talking and just hope for the best? Or maybe do an intro like off screen, maybe. That could work. Yeah, I should do an intro just here. Alright, so let's give this a try. Hi YouTube, I am Yuna, never mind, one more I'm gonna redo that. I kinda got tripped up on my own words there, mentally, so. Hi YouTube, I'm Yuna, a Snowfox VTuber and variety streamer on Twitch. Today, at the time of recording this, is the final day of the Splatoon 3 Grand Festival. So I wanted to look around the festival grounds and talk a little bit about my history with Splatoon and also why this series means as much to me as it does. I started playing these games on launch day of Splatoon 1. I had a Wii U at launch, and at that time, there were barely any games for the console, so if a cool new game came out, you definitely wanted to pick it up because there's no other justification for owning that console. There were so few games on it at launch, or otherwise, it basically fizzled out very quickly. I basically bought it day one, I got all the amiibo, and I had a very good time with it. I don't know, I'm not really happy with how this is turning out. I feel like I'm, like, rehearsing this too much. I'm also gonna go back to the lobby and then, like, resume in order to, like, reset my position back at the entrance of the festival grounds. I don't know, sorry if this is, like, really scuffed, by the way, or if I should just be doing this off-screen. Maybe I should just do this off-screen, and it can just be, like, you know, YouTube exclusive, but I almost wanted to have it on both places. I feel like I'm overthinking this, to be honest. Hi YouTube, I'm Yuna, a Snowfox VTuber and variety streamer on Twitch. Today at the time of recording this is the Splatoon 3 Grand Festival's final day. So I wanted to look around the festival grounds and talk a little bit about my history with the series and why it means so much to me. I started playing Splatoon with the Wii U game on day one. I basically picked up a lot of first-party Wii U games at launch because, let's be real, there were so few games on the Wii U, and I was just trying to justify why Okay, I just had a major frame drop. I don't know if that would have affected the recording. So again, I think this is just cursed. I think I should just do this off-screen. Unfortunately, I gave it a try at least. But yeah, I at least do want to look around on stream at least and show off. So we have this little entryway to the main stage, and we also have a special song being performed by all three groups, if I'm not mistaken. So let's actually head up to the top of the stage like so, and use the telescope to get a good look at everything going on. Let's see, how do I hide the heads-up display? There we go. So yeah, I guess I can talk about it more casually. Again, I might do a video later on, or maybe this will just work as the video, after all, the one time I'm not trying to actively record something. But basically, I played the Wii U game, I enjoyed it quite a bit, but I didn't really go into the online very much, partially because I didn't have a long enough Ethernet cable to connect my Wii U to my router, so I got tons of disconnects because Wi-Fi is not necessarily reliable for Wii U games, or Nintendo games, period. I highly recommend wired for most multiplayer games. To be fair, even like playing on Xbox, if I'm not wired, it still connects or disconnects a ton. So it's not entirely a Nintendo problem, albeit the online is still arguably very backwards compared to everyone else's, but that's a whole other discussion. I enjoyed it enough to be a fan. I definitely liked the story, I liked all the lore, and the sort of post-apocalyptic setting of it was really cool and novel. The gameplay was fun. I liked how, even though it's, you know, a third-person shooter, it still had very much its own identity with, like, the ink swimming and everything, so I just really enjoyed the game. So then, flash forward to 2017, I played the heck out of Splatoon 2, comparatively. Partly because my internet was slightly more stable then. I actually did pick up an Ethernet cable eventually that was long enough to reach, and thus I was able to actually play online without, like, a ton of frustration like on Wii U. So in that case, I actually played a lot of Splatfests. I didn't really get to experience a lot of them in Splatoon 1 because of all the disconnects, but it was really fun. I definitely didn't rank up on all of them. There are a couple I missed for one reason or another. But yeah, I tried to participate in as many as possible, and it was a lot of fun. In general, I think Splatoon 2 shines mostly in the DLC, the Octo expansion. That's, like, in my opinion, probably the best story mode in the series, still. Though I do really like 3's story mode. It's up in the air between those two. But I really do like the Octo expansion quite a bit. So then, with Splatoon 3, I kind of had an epiphany the other day. Like, I was Team Callie for Splatoon 1, as ill-fated as my attempts at playing that Splatfest were, and I was Team Order for Splatoon 2. So I am 0 for 2 so far, so we'll see how this goes. But for Splatoon 3, I got playing the Splatfest and realized I was getting a lot more competitive than usual. I was getting a lot more invested than usual, and I kind of started to try to piece together why that is. And it hit me why, actually. Like, late last night when I was, like, I think I was getting ready for bed or something. It was, like, after I finished playing, even. It hit me why Splatoon 3 hits different for this final festival compared to the previous two. Splatoon 3 was released in September 2022. So that basically puts it really close in time to when I was going through a lot of, like, gender self-discovery. Around 2021, I want to say, I went as non-binary for a while, just to kind of ease into it and see how that felt. But in late 2022 was when I actually fully committed to coming out as trans. And I actually think that's part of the reason why this Splatfest feels special. Why this, like, farewell to Splatoon 3 feels special, in addition to just them going all out. Like, this is wild, especially compared to the Final Fests in the previous games. They went all out for this one, and I'm very grateful for that. But I do feel like there is the personal aspect of I kind of found myself while playing Splatoon 3, in a way. Again, it started before then, the whole questioning, but very early on into Splatoon 3's life, I basically came out. And so this is sort of the first time, in a way, that I've gotten to experience a final festival in Splatoon as me, and not, like, the old me, if that makes sense. So that's why this feels, you know, it'll always be sentimental. It's a big farewell to the game, but that's why it actually feels even more sentimental than it did before for 1 and 2. So that's why I feel very emotionally attached to this game. Again, it's far from perfect, but it definitely resonates with me because I have a lot of fond memories of the game because of what I was going through in my life while playing this game. So that's why it's special. The games are inherently very fun, in my opinion, but again, I do feel like everything about the series, the atmosphere, the characters, the lore, the stories, everything about it just makes it, like, one of my favorite series at the moment. And again, it is bittersweet seeing this. This is a very cool send-off to the game, but it also kind of does mean that this game is winding down in terms of focus, and that they'll be moving on to other projects in the future, which is sad. It is a little bit bittersweet. But I do look forward to the future of Splatoon. I am very excited to see what they do next. Again, Splatoon 3 is a very safe sequel, so I definitely feel like the next one will have to go in a more, like, extreme direction just to kind of justify its existence in some ways, if that makes sense. But I am very curious to see what they actually do with the series going forward, because there's so much room for the series to go, and I am very excited for it. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say in a video, if I did a video, so I might try to do that offline, like do a more, like, properly introed video, and just, you know, share similar thoughts and put that on YouTube, or not. Maybe I'll just not worry about YouTube for now, because I can't even really, like, do thumbnails anyway. My channel isn't verified. I do feel like I've gotten more traction on Twitch anyway, so maybe I should just focus on that for now. But again, at some point I would like to get a VOD channel up and running, just to preserve everything. Preserve the memories, preserve the good times, the ups and downs. But again, I need to actually verify that channel first, because I can't upload videos above, like, 15 minutes. So that's on me for messing up with the phone number thing. But yeah, it feels like a very special game, in a way. Again, a lot of energy and time was poured into the atmosphere of Splatoon as a series. And that's, I think, why it excels while other, like, new IPs don't do as well, because it's very unique. Like, there's no other game that kind of hits the same notes in terms of, like, atmosphere and even, like, culture as well, the way Splatoon does. And that's why it feels so resonant in a way. But I could definitely just ramble about this game for, like, a really, really long time. So, we're almost to, like, an hour and 20 minutes, so I should probably just wind down. I'm also just kind of enjoying watching this, to be honest. I'll probably just leave it up, like, later on, like, just have it on in the background, and just, like, have it playing, because, again, it's like, this is it. This is the sort of goodbye of the game. And it kind of feels weird in a way, like, I don't know how to describe it in a way that's not, like, overly sentimental, if that makes sense, but and there's sort of a finality, because it's the last Splatfest, and thus, or like the last new one of this scale, so it's like, you know, as soon as I stop streaming, the record of me playing this kind of goes away, unless I keep, you know, recording on my own. So yeah, there's a bittersweet quality. But yeah, I hope everyone has enjoyed this stream. I hope everyone enjoyed this, like, first week of streams. Again, I did a lot of streaming this week. I'm definitely running out of energy, so I'll take time off tomorrow for sure. Monday, I need to pick a game. I might ask friends for advice, to be honest, because I have, like, no clue what to play. But yeah, overall, this was, like, a bigger... This first week of streaming was a lot better than I ever could have imagined, to be honest. It really meant a lot to me how many, like, how much my friends showed up to support. And, like, continued to support. And, like, we're already at 37 followers, so it's like we're doing surprisingly well. I never thought I'd get to this point, you know, in the first week of streaming, basically. So it really does mean a lot, actually. But again, at this point I feel like I'm just rambling, so I should probably wrap up. I don't know if we'll, like, do a raid. I don't even know what we do for a raid message at this point. Not a whole lot even happened in the game to have, like, a raid message. Hey, the song's wrapping up, it looks like. So again, maybe this is a good time to head out. Unless it's just looping, which it probably is. Most of the songs tend to loop, actually. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thanks for stopping by. You've done so well. Thank you. It's very nerve-wracking, actually, jumping into streaming after, like, years of not being... Like, years of being very, like, cut off from people. From, like, being very isolated. Not just from COVID, obviously, but just, like... Online, I definitely isolated myself as I was trying to figure myself out, partially because I didn't really want people to know the old me. Just kind of want to know the current me, if that makes sense. But it feels nice to be doing this. To be hanging out, playing video games, and just kind of... I don't know how to describe my thoughts anymore. I think I'm just fried from streaming so much. This week, so I should probably rest, to be honest. I say as I might work on other things after this. Yeah, I don't know if we'll raid, like... I mean, I have someone in mind we could raid, but, like, we just raided them. But also, like, with what they're playing, they might need all the help they can get, so maybe we should do a raid. Maybe we should just raid Star again. You know, give our energy, because it's like, you know, Chaos Edition, that's gonna be a lot, so yeah, I think that's a good plan. No raid message, just because I can't think of anything. Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. I hope everyone looks forward to more streams in the future. Again, my plans are very, like, scattered at the moment, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't really have a lot in the pipeline at the moment. I'm just trying to find the button right now. There we go. Again, you can tell I'm not used to this. I know you can just do /raid or whatever in the chat, but, I just used the button on the stream overlay just because I figured it would be guaranteed to work. So yeah, let's do this. Let's send a raid. Again, no raid message. I don't have enough of interest to say, and I don't think I say enough of note. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Look forward to more streams in the future. Again, current plans are Monday and Wednesday for sure. Friday's kind of a maybe, for a multitude of reasons, but this week is also kind of up in the air because of Blood Draw on Tuesday, so I don't know if I'll be feeling up for it on Wednesday. Again, I need to actually pick a game. We might just continue Sonic, do more start Shadow the Hedgehog. Might play some other stuff I've been thinking about. Maybe start like a Zelda, because, you know, the new game is almost here. Yeah, either way, thank you so much. Thank you all for the support in this debut week. And yeah, I've always said it a million times, but it means a lot to me. And I am very grateful for everybody in my life right now. But yeah, take care. I hope everyone has a good rest of their evening, and see you later. And Caitlin, thank you for the follow at the last minute.